Okay, I'm starting to record. So welcome everybody. So for my team, I'm Edna Swindle, by the way, if y'all don't know who I am. I'm doing this with Kim Fredrickson. She's become such a great friend of mine and a good sideline encourager and motivator. And she is, if y'all are on her team, you know this already. She is all about some strategy and is a red personality all the way, whereas I'm not. So we really, I guess, kind of bounce different ideas off of each other because we think different in different ways. So it's kind of fun. But I messaged her a few days ago. I was like, okay, I need to do a monthly team meeting because we used to do these, and I thought that they were good. And I haven't done them in a month or two. And so I was like, you game to get your team on too? She's like, sure. So we don't have a ton to talk about, but there are a few things that I feel like are good to talk about in the beginning of the month. So we're just kind of all on the same page and all have just a good strategy and a good mindset for the month of October. I cannot believe it's already October. So first of all, I want to talk about the corporate incentive going on with the planner. And I got the planner last year and earned it, and I was die hard to get a planner because I love planners. I always have. And one thing that I love about this incentive is it's very doable. And I think that everyone should strive for this goal because it's if you get 2 new customers with 75 PV or more and 2 new ambassadors, you earn the planner. And I really like that they combine customer and ambassador because it's good if you're brand new to this and you just joined yesterday, or if you have been doing this for a couple of years, to have that balance of getting new customers and new ambassadors every month. Because we all know it's good to have a decent amount of PV. And also, if you're having a goal of trying to add to your team every month, I think 2 is realistic for most of us to try to gain. A lot of months, personally, I try to do 3 ambassadors, or I call it go silver again every month. So if you're someone that is not silver rank yet, this will help you be motivated, hopefully, to get there. And then also on the MPD page, Candace has that incentive going on that if you rank silver for the first time, or if you've already ranked silver and you add 3 people, you get that jewelry, which I took a screenshot of it. I know that y'all probably seen it, but I mean, y'all can see. How fun is that? I mean, I really want to get it. So this will kind of give you the stepping stone to even get that as well. So one thing that I want to note about the planner that Kim brought out today, which I thought was I was like, oh yeah, we need to remind everybody. It ends October 27th for the incentive for the planner. So it's not till the last day of the month, it's till the 27th. Let's see, I was going to say something else about the planner. So yeah, I am excited about it. Plus it's really pretty. It's prettier than the one last year. And I was gonna, okay, so Candace has on the MPD page, she posted, I don't know if y'all have seen about the Target October group. You have not done this group. They are really, really, really awesome, and I highly encourage everyone to do it if you have any type of goal with Plexus. It's just something motivating about coming together as a team, seeing each other's goals, declaring a goal. Because if you're like me, maybe in the beginning of your business, like I did, I didn't really want to declare a goal because I'm like, I don't really know what's realistic, what's not. I don't really know if I should have a goal because what if I don't meet it? But it's just something about setting it at the beginning of the month and seeing it on that board consistently, and us having to report in, that really helps motivate me. So I would think that it does for other people as well. So I really encourage everyone to do that. So she has the goal of getting the planner. So 2 new customers, 2 new ambassadors. And I love how it doesn't have to be just preferred. It can be retail or it can be preferred customers. So if y'all have a goal of doing that, I would say go and post that you want to get the planner. Then it also has all the rank goals that you can do as well if you're trying to shoot for a rank this month. So the deadline for that is Tuesday at noon. So you have, a few days to declare that goal, but I definitely commented that I want that planner. So you are required to comment and participate. We have had a few people that have, declared a goal, but then they really wouldn't comment. So it is a requirement to, participate and be part of that group for sure. So let's see. Now I'll go into something else in a little while after Kim talks some about something she wanted to share.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, one quick, I'm waiting for my email to load when you said that. I actually think one of the other new changes with the planner incentive is it does have to be preferred customers. I saw that in the fine print. And so when I was looking at that date, so it's the 27th, I'm waiting for I don't know why my Gmail is not loading, but the date's the 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern. So it's not even midnight on the 27th, 6 p.m. Eastern. And the customers have to be 75 PV and they have to be preferred. I'm pretty sure I read that because that was news to me today when I kind of looked at that fine print.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, I don't know why mine's
preferred, but that's good because we all want the preferred. So
yeah, so it's like there's been a lot of contests, like or what did we just finish? Leaders Retreat contest was 50 PV. So this is different. It has to be 75 PV, which is, it's a bag of Slim, or, a couple products together. So anyway, yes. So I was talking to Edna and I've just been, my 2 words for this month for myself and trying to model to our team is mobilize and equip. Who can we mobilize to action this month, whether it's through the 7-day trial or sharing or doing launch parties, and how do they need to be equipped? How do you need to be equipped? As you're watching this video, you need to communicate that to your sponsor. What do you need help with to pursue the planner or whatever your next goal is? And then for those of you who are watching who are leaders who have a team underneath you, who do you need to mobilize? Who do you need to equip? And so something that I have found as I have been trying to mobilize in the first few days of October, some ambassadors that they've shown interest in sharing the 7-day group, but they never actually have. And so I'm trying to mobilize those people. And so, I'm in a group chat with another ambassador. And so this was someone at the end of September said, I want to share the 7-day group. And so we reached out to her here in the first few days of October and said, hey, how can we help you? And her response, I'm just actually pulled it up. I'm just going to read it to you. She said, I'm actually not ready to sell it. I have to get myself right first. I know I felt better taking it because she was one that had been on the products and then kind of went off the products for a little while. I knew I felt better taking it. So we shall see. And so, one of the things I want to talk about on this call today is how do you respond when you get a text message like that? How do you respond when you have an ambassador who says, I'm not ready to sell? When you have a potential that says, it's just not for me? When you have, I'm trying to think of other examples, but for the sake of time, you kind of get what I mean. Like, when you get a response that feels like things could be shutting down. And I want to challenge us this month to ask the next question. And what I mean by that is I personally, in my own Plexus journey, have come to believe that so often people just don't know what to say. And so they try to shut it down. But if I can ask another question, not being pushy, because I still want to be who I am and I want to be their friend. But if I can ask another question, it might reveal either that, yeah, they're really not ready to sell, like that's actually what they meant. Or it may reveal that they have some kind of misunderstanding about what that really looks like. And so here's what I responded to that ambassador. I said, we will never, and I said her name, but I'm not going to share her name. Anyway, I said, we will never ever pressure you to share, only when you are ready. But I owe it to you to tell you that someone wants to hear that all you know is you felt better on it. That'll preach to someone who's silently suffering, who just wants to feel better. Could I share with you an example of some wording you could share when you feel ready? You could save it away for when the time is right. And she said yes. And so then I responded and shared a sample Facebook post and a sample message with her. And so that was just the next question, is like trying to figure out, you know, does she really understand that she doesn't have to have a Cinderella story testimony to share? And the same thing with someone that says like, the time's not right, you know, with someone you're talking to with plexus. It's like, that next question, don't take, their no doesn't really mean no. Their no just means they don't know what to say because they're like, I'm just not ready, but I'm not sure. And so the next question could be, you know, I understand that the time is not right for you right now. I have, you know, this is something I use. I have a closed Facebook group where I love sharing more of my story. Can I add you to it? And maybe we can talk again when the time is right. And then I keep a list and I say, you know, I keep a list, and it's like, if they said the time is not right, you better believe I'm going back to them in a month or two. And I'm saying, hey, I know the time wasn't right for you, you know, in October, but we have a 7-day challenge group coming up, you know, this month. Do you think this is your time? Because I'm going to take people's words for what they said. And if the time is not right, that does not mean the time is never going to be right. It just means the time wasn't right now. So those are just 2 quick examples, but I just really want to challenge us. Like, what are you doing when you start to see things shut down? Because one of my major rules of thumb is I never end a Facebook message or a text with anything other than a question. So it's like, even if I want to, you know, tell them something, I'll always end with, what do you think? Or can I share an example with you? Or always ending with a question, because that's going to elicit a response. So I just want to challenge us this month, like kind of this very vague concept of like, what's the next question? Because I feel like if we're always thinking, excuse me, y'all, if I'm always thinking, how can I engage them further? You'll be less likely to see, you know, that what you might perceive, because you don't want to like offend them, what you might perceive as a no really isn't a no. It just means they need more guidance from you, and you need to ask that next question for whatever that particular situation is. So that's about all I had for that, Edna.
I love it. I love it. And yeah, 2 things that I've been saying a lot lately is consistency and persistence. Like, you know, with reaching out, with any of this, following up, like consistency and following up. And am I persistent in that? And it's exactly what you're saying. And yeah, I was going to mention that I love ending with a question, like you were saying just then. I love how it elicits a response for sure from people. And so I love that. I'm encouraged by that, Kim. I needed to hear it. Thank you. So something that I've kind of also been thinking about is how last month, if y'all, you know, were working and you had people join in on the 7-day challenge, a lot of us probably didn't like that the 7-day challenge was towards the end of the month, because it kind of felt like we were waiting and waiting, and then we got there, and then it was just like we had to make things happen quickly and then kind of catch up. So I love that the challenge is on the 10th. It's actually kind of creeping up on me, which is good, because I'm always saying this to my team. So I want to encourage all of y'all on tonight is to front load the month. Have that mentality that, okay, if I want to get that planner, I want 2 new ambassadors. I need 2 new preferred customers with 75 PV. And what if we got that early in the month, and then we kept going, and then we exceeded that? And that's so doable this month, I feel like, with, we can use the excuse, the holidays are coming up. You know, don't wait to get in a good, healthy routine now that school's in and all that. There's lots of sugar with Halloween. There's it's a good month. And with the 7-day challenge being early, I just think it's really setting us up to front load and have that mentality. Okay, let's not wait and just simply invite for the end of the month, but we have it early. So I would just encourage all of us to have, that mindset for sure. And also just mindset and reaching out. Something that I personally learned from my journey from going gold to senior gold, during that process, which I was gold, I think, right over a year until I ranked to senior gold. And what changed for me was that I just decided, so what if people don't respond to my messages when I reach out? So what if, I get a funny look or whatever? If it's that mentality of, I'm going to go for no. I'm going to go for that person that says no, because I'm one step closer to a yes. And when I started changing that in my mind, then things really started happening. And because I really worried a lot about what people thought about me in the beginning and how I worded everything just right, and I didn't want to offend anybody. And but I just really encourage you, if you're kind of like, oh, that's me, just do it. I love just like that Nike saying, just do it. Just reach out and don't be fearful, because that's when your businesses will grow, is when you have that mindset that, so what? Let's just try it. Let's see if it works. So as you're reaching out for the 7-day challenge, as you're front loading the month, I just really encourage y'all to have that mindset for sure, because it definitely was something that changed for me in my personal business. And, so yeah, setting goals. I'm just looking at my notes because I sometimes get off track. Reaching out, 7-day challenge is coming up. There's something else I was going to say about the 7-day challenge, but anyway, I also think it's very good for us to have a team goal. So I haven't expressed this to my team on my team page yet, but y'all that are on, I would love for us to add as a team combined 30 ambassadors this month. I think it's good to have like a personal goal, but I also have seen when we have a team goal, like when we have a countdown from 30, that everyone really feels a part of something. So, I would love to us to all, encourage each other to have a team goal as well. I think that that's very important to keep moving forward as a team. So I love that. Having a team, it's a different mindset as well, because you're all working together. So I don't know if Kim has anything else to share. Do you have anything else on your mind?
I do think, I agree with you, Edna, about how great it is that the 7-day trial is in the first half of the month, because I know that something I'm doing personally, and I would encourage anyone to consider this, is, basically we're done with the 7-day trial by the 17th. And so I know that I personally am going to try to schedule some events. Sometimes when we have the 7-day trial, that's all we lean on in terms of kind of having opportunities to invite people to things. And so, and for the last couple of months, the 7-day trial has been real helpful for that. But when it's smack dab in the middle of the month, sometimes I feel like I don't have time at the beginning of the month or the end of the month to kind of offer some extra opportunities. And so I know for me personally, I'm going to try towards the end of October to just hold a local sip and see or a Plexus happy hour or something like that, where I invite the ambassadors who are local to me to bring their friends. I know that with new ambassadors, we're going to be offering some launch party opportunities. And so I think that's one of the things that's special about October, because things will get more busy as the holidays come. So I think we have a unique opportunity to capitalize and plan to capitalize on that second half of October. It's kind of work the 7-day trial now, but have a plan for how to capitalize on the fact that you're still going to have 14 in the month before the month's over, once the 7-day trial is. So just kind of, as you think through your own strategy, think, okay, what am I going to do for the second half of the month? Because this is a great opportunity for you to kind of work with your upline and kind of create, like, what do you need to do? How many people do you need to be reaching out to today? Or do you need to have, you know, would it be wise? Is it your time to have a launch party? Is it your time to, you know, step out there and host an event, or get together a couple friends and host an event? So I'm looking forward to that in the end of October.
I agree. I haven't done something like that in a while now that you're talking about launch parties and stuff, just because, like you said, we lean so much on, okay, the 7-day challenge is going to help us a ton. And then, okay, then after that, it's like, let's coast. So I like having a plan after. That's really smart for sure. So anybody have any questions for us while we're on? Both of us are on. I don't know if y'all have anything. Because if not, we don't want to take up much more of your time. But I'm so glad that we connected, and y'all
Melissa, were you
got
unmuting? I saw you looking like you were trying to unmute.
Yes. Do you know if there will be trial groups in November and December?
My guess is yes, but I don't know. Have you heard anything? Edna, I can't remember if we, I mean, I guess we don't have any kind of authority to guarantee it, but I mean, I really don't know.
For November.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I just think I don't know for sure. It usually is determined kind of during Candace tries to figure out the date for the next one during the week of the 7-day trial, because then it's, you know, of course, it's a really effective tool to tell someone who's becoming an ambassador from the 7-day trial, like, hey, this is real simple. You can turn around and do it again on this next day. So I'll be shocked if there's not one in November, but I feel pretty confident that there would be.
Yeah. And also, anybody in my downline, if y'all have anybody that's joined last month from the 7-day challenge, or even that's going to join for this one, like Kim was saying, having launch parties, like that's a great thing to just turn around right after that and do, you know, while they're excited and are wanting to start working. So something for us to start thinking about for sure.
Yeah, and something I've been doing this month is not solely, especially since the 7-day trial is coming up so quickly, I've not been relying solely on the team pages to reach out to new ambassadors about the 7-day trial. Excuse me, y'all. And so like I've been personally messaging a lot of my level ones who, you know, are new-ish, and like maybe the last 3 months, and I've been saying like, hey, the 7-day trial group's coming up. And kind of like the message I shared earlier, I said, like, I love these for new ambassadors. If I had an example of a message you could send, or if I had an example of a post you could post, would that be helpful? And I've gotten a lot of positive responses from that too. So I think kind of just that's that idea that I said before of like mobilizing people. It's like thinking through who needs to be mobilized and how is the best way to equip them to do that. And I'm finding for a lot of new ambassadors, if you're willing to give them the wording, the hurdle to make the post is not as big. So I've been helping with a lot of wording lately.
All right, I got a question. For 3 of the 4 people that I had do the challenge last month had really bad side effects, and decided they didn't want to use the products. And I really wasn't sure on how to handle. Well, the one situation, I just, you know, accepted that the product wouldn't work for her due to probably some medication that she was taking. And but the other 2, on the slam, they had diarrhea real bad. And and I kind of feel like I left them hanging because I didn't know what to do with them. And
Michelle, do you have, like, are you talking with those new ambassadors primarily one-on-one, or do you have them in a 3 or 4-way chat with, like, whoever introduced you to Plexus? Are you doing it in a group environment, or is it mainly just you one-on-one with that person?
It was just me, and then I think I connected them. I think I connected them in a group. Came of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I just felt like them 3 got left hanging.
Yeah, I would say, just as a rule of thumb with new ambassadors and new customers, to try to get them at a minimum in a 3-way chat, like whether it's on texting, Facebook, or I don't know if you ever use the app called Voxer, but getting them in a chat with, like, so like, let's say it's your new ambassador, you and your upline, because when they have issues like that, sometimes you need to have a 3rd or 4th voice in that conversation that is going to help kind of troubleshoot some of those things. So I would say, as a rule of thumb, you know, bring your upline into the conversation, and they might be able to kind of give some questions and help. And then the nice thing about that is you'll be able to learn as as other people are asking questions, like, oh, I didn't think to ask that, or oh, I didn't think to make this adjustment. And it's a really beautiful way for you to continue to learn, but asking for support from someone above you.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was a little bit timid when, people would say, oh, I've had this side effect, or I have a headache or something. I'll be like, oh gosh, are the products not working? Like, it would scare me, because I'd be like, oh, I don't want to lose them. I don't want to lose them. And I'd worry so much about that. Rather than really and truly, there are so many different ways with the products to take them, different times. Then they might start opening up, oh, well, you know what? I did take my medication right when I took, or, you just never know. So it's worth asking more questions and really diving into what the heart of the issue might be. And that's where 3-4-way messages really come in play, because everybody has different ideas of what to ask. It's really great. So definitely we'll do that for sure.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Good. I'm going to stop the recording. We can keep asking questions though. Hang on.